What is going on, everybody? I am your host here, Israel Rivera with Prime Sports World, and I'm here to cover this Tank Davis Ryan Garcia fight. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? Last night I was supposed to cover this fight. I was supposed to do a live, and I was gonna do a live analysis. Then curveball came. You know, I feel like met the man. I feel like met the man in seventh chamber. I should be playing seventh chamber right now. I should be playing that right now because I feel like met the man. In the intro when Raekwon coming through, when they come through, he's like, "Hey yo, Meth, where my killer tape at? Where my killer tape at? Oh no, some always came through here with 40s and blunts. That's how I feel. I was supposed to do something yesterday. Must came through 40s and blunts, man. Must get you 40s and blunts. Oh, Slizzer. Anyways, before I start the podcast, please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast here at Pride Sports World, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And in case you missed us, we are heard on all podcast streams where podcasts can be heard. That's Apple Podcasts, Samsung Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and Spotify, ladies and gentlemen. So Prime Sports World has you covered 360 degrees around, baby, bringing the heat, ladies and gentlemen, just in case you missed this live feed. So go ahead and take your time out to go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to all of that before we start. But anyways, I'm going to get into it. This was a hell. I mean, it wasn't a hell of a fight. I mean, let me tell you, it was a hell of a build-up to a fight because let me say this. For 2 years, Ryan Garcia been chirping. Tank been telling him, man, you ain't ready. Tank already knows he got the goods. He's already know he's got the goods. I mean, he's beaten Mario Barrios. He's moved up to beat Mario Barrios. He's a bigger fighter than Ryan Garcia, who's just as big. That's why I didn't understand why Ryan Garcia's camp kept saying, "Oh, we're bigger. I'm like, dude, he's fought bigger fighters. What are you talking about? Fighting Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz is no slouch whatsoever. Fought him on short notice. Isaac Cruz is no slouch. And I think Isaac Cruz fought him the best, in my opinion. Just didn't have the pop. See, a lot of guys. The thing is, I don't know if anybody noticed this. Leo Santa. Let me mention Leo Santa Cruz because Leo Santa Cruz, and then fighting Rolly. Rolly's a tough fight. And he's young too. Rolly's a fucking tough fight. I mean, I don't care. I'm a curse. This is boxing. This is combat sports. We curse. Rolly's a fucking tough fight, man. He is a tough fight, and he disposed of him in the early rounds. People don't like. One thing I'm gonna tell you right now about Tank. Similar to Mayweather, man, that boy got a chin on him. I mean, I've seen those guys hit him with flush shots. I mean, Ryan hit him with, the patent left hook, He hit him a couple times in that fight with that patent left hook that would have stunned a couple boxers, right? That would have stunned a couple guys. But it didn't faze Tank because he's got a good chin. A lot of people don't really understand, man. He's got a good chin. And when you look at his resume, he's fought guys. He's fought Hall of Famers. Leo Santa Cruz is a fucking Hall of Famer. He's gonna be in the boxing Hall of Fame one day. One day, Mario Barrios might be in the boxing Hall of Fame. It looks like once he took down Mario, he wasn't the same. Those insides weren't the same. Isaac Cruz actually has propelled Isaac Cruz since that fight because Isaac Cruz has been good since that fight. And Rolly, we haven't seen him fight yet, but Rolly is a guy. He's tough, man. That's a tough fight. He's athletic. He's long. He's strong. He's wiry, strong. But let's give Tank some credit. He's got a tough chin. And in his camp, a lot of people, one thing I will say, in previous fights, Tank has lost, like those fights I'm talking about, Leo Santa Cruz, Mario Bar, he was losing those fights at first. And then he knocked him out. But you can make an argument he was losing those fights by the points, by the cards, before knocking those guys out. That's facts. This fight, You can see the ringmanship, the generalship, the experience. Fuck the power. I don't, fuck the power. We know he got power. Let's throw the power out the window. Let's throw the power out the window. The ability, and while I was watching this fight with a family member of mine, my older brother. I was watching the fight with my older brother. Shout out to my older brother, Mike. I'm watching this fight, and I'm telling him what's going on round by round. He's like, man, you should have went live on the podcast. I'm telling him what's going to happen live by round by round. I'm telling him what's going to happen. I said, you know what? Watch this. First round, he's going to let Ryan get that round. You want to know why? He's going to do what Mayweather used to do. See, Mayweather's his mentor. Y'all gotta realize that one of the best in the game is his mentor. Do y'all understand this? Do boxing fans understand? I seen a lot of, because it was the Mexican and it was the black boxer and it was like the black. They were they were fighting for Tank and then the Mexicans were going for Ryan. I'm like, look, if you're a boxing fan, you shouldn't be biased in this situation. You should go for the guy who you know has the ring experience, who you know has more power. I keep trying to tell y'all, I don't look at, hey, look, my hands, I tell people all the time, my hands are rated E for everybody. Okay? If I see you out here and you disrespect me, my hands are rated E for everybody. I don't look at race. These hands don't look at race. They rated E for everybody. That's the way I look at it, okay? You got the goods, you got the goods. Stop being that way, everybody. We got to stop doing that. We got to stop doing that. Oh, because he was the Mexican, we're going for the Mexican. No! You know he was going to lose. Stop it. Okay? You know the little boy was going to lose. He ain't fight nobody. Who's he fought? This fight should have happened 4 years down the road when Ryan Garcia was 128, was 28 years old, and Tank was 32. In their primes, Ryan Garcia is not in his prime yet. He's a little boy. He's still coming up in the ranks. He's a YouTube guy. He's an Instagram guy. He's smoking mirrors. He hasn't fought anybody. He hasn't fought a Josh. He hasn't fought the likes of a Josh Taylor. He hasn't fought the likes of a Teofimo Lopez who just came into his division. You know what I'm saying? Like, he hasn't fought anybody. Who has he fought? Who has he fought? He hasn't fought a Jose Ramirez. He hasn't fought a Jack Catero. Good. He hasn't fought guys. He hasn't fought Jazz Catero. He hasn't fought guys yet. He hasn't fought a guy like Sandor Martinez, who just lost a split decision to Teofimo Lopez, which I'm going to tell you this right now. That was a close fight. That was a close fight. That was a close fight. Sandor Martin, that was a close fight. That's a good fight for Ryan. Arnold Barboza, he hasn't fought guys yet. Who's he fought? He hasn't fought guys yet. So when I look at the ring experience, man, I gave it a Tank. Come on, man. You gotta be kidding me. First round. And this is who Ryan's fought. Javier Fortuna, Emmanuel, Luke Campbell. I mean, who is this guy fought? Who is this guy fought before jumping up to fight a beast like Tank? Before jumping up to fight a beast like Tank. Tank is wiped out. Tank holds the WBA regular lightweight title. I think Devin Haney has the interim. I mean, bro, even just forget Hector Garcia, Tank's last, Broly Romero, Isaac Cruz, Mario Barrios, Leo Santa Cruz, Yurokis Gamboa, Hall of Famer, could be possibly maybe Hall of Famer, I don't know, Isaac Cruz, really good lightweight. Rolly Ramiro, really good lightweight. Okay. Putting his lightweight. And this was at a catch weight. Jose Pedraza. I mean, we could go all the way back. Jose Pedraza in the middle of his, I called him the sniper. And this is for the IBF featherweight title. I call Jose Pedraza the sniper because his 1-2 down the middle is crazy. So Tank's fought guys, man. Tank's fought guys. We don't give him enough credit. He's fought guys. The experience in there was, you can see it. And when I paint the picture that Mayweather is his mentor, when I look at Mayweather fights, what does Mayweather do? He lets you come in. Okay, I'm such a great defensive fighter. I know you're not going to touch me with none of your offense. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you throw off whatever you think you're going to throw off, get off whatever you think you're going to throw off, and I'm going to compute the information. Take in the information, and I'm going to figure out what my next move is going to be. Like that's what happened round one. Everybody's like, oh, man, he's not aggressive. Oh, I remember his corner was like, don't let them get them stupid little jabs off. He right. Don't let him start winning all points. Problem is, this is why I talk about experience. I'll get to it. I'm going to get to it. Round two, which I think is where the first knockdown happened. If I'm not mistaken. I think round two was the first knockdown. Round two came. Ryan Garcia's happy. Oh, I got him. He ain't throwing no. My length and my power and my speed. And my speed is this is what he's thinking. My speed is getting to him. He ain't throwing. He don't want to exchange with me. He not throwing. But what I seen in this fight was growth from Tank. Defense. His defense was much better in this fight. He was a much more patient fighter in this fight. If it went to the cards, Tank would have outpointed him. He looked like the fighter with the more pop. He even looked like he had more speed than Ryan. That's something to say, because Ryan's one of the fastest fighters at 140. Ryan Garcia is one of the fastest guys at 140, and Tank looked faster than him to the point of attack, especially with the jab and the left. But I said this after that knockdown. I said I was telling my brother, and I should have been, if this was live, if it was live during the fight, y'all would have heard me say this. Calm down, Ryan. Calm down, Ryan. Calm down, Ryan. Left hand goes down. I knew he was setting him up for that. Because Ryan's trying to throw the left hook. He threw the left hook 2-3 times, and Tank ducked it. It's the ring experience, man. A lot of people don't take that into account. It's the ring experience, man. He's fought tougher fighters. He's fought guys that were more unpredictable. Isaac Cruz, way more unpredictable than Ryan Garcia. Leo Santa Cruz, way more unpredictable than Ryan Garcia. That's when Ryan started switching it up, start throwing the right hook more. So, okay, I can't get him with the left. I'm going to get him with the right. That didn't work. Want to know why? Body said this after he knocked him down. I said, he's going to get up. That wasn't one of those debilitating. Like, it's like Tank didn't hit him with everything. He hit him with something to let him know. Okay. You're throwing, but you have to be wary of this power, young man. You have to be wary of this power, young man. You can't just come in here swinging at me. Who the you think you is? Somebody hit you with a shot to put you down, just a little bit, so you understand. And he told him he was gonna punish him, right? He said he was not gonna just knock him out. He did say he was gonna break his jaw. He did say that. He did say that. He said he was going to knock him out, but he did knock him out. TKO or TKO, whatever, however you want to say it. Did knock him out. But he didn't knock him out where it was like he slept him. Like he hit him with a shot, which I think he let a little bit off. He just let a tiny bit off. He's just like, man, look, man, this is too easy for me. This is too easy. We need to make some money. We get more viewers coming in. You hit him, get off. You know, I'm gonna throw full force. No, I'm gonna let up a little bit, but I'm still gonna knock your ass down. It's gonna be flush enough. Let me tell you, man. The experience was on tap. After round 2, you saw it. You saw it, right? The jab, the left, upstairs, downstairs, going to the body. Ryan, like he said, and we all watch type. Ryan likes to let his hands go. We saw it hands below the waist. We saw when he gets cocky. We saw it in the UFC, right? Alex Pereira and Israel Adesanya. Has Israel Adesanya on the cage. He's teeing off. He's got his hands down, head up, chin up. What's Israel Adesanya do? Pull off the cage. 1-2, bam. 1-2, bam. Lights out. Hammer fist. Send him to the shadow realm. This is kind of, in a way, similar. Ryan Garcia likes to let his hand, the first 2, he's letting his hands down. That's why he got knocked down with that shot. I mean, I told everybody, man, Ryan's been clipped before, but if he get clipped by Tank, he may not get up. But see, Tank clipped him, but he let a little bit off because I know he wanted to put, he wanted to hurt the boy. He wanted to demoralize the boy. He wanted to show, look, man, I'm the man. I am him, right? I'm the best lightweight. I think I'm the best lightweight in this division. He knows he's the best lightweight division. That's what he's thinking. I know I'm the best lightweight division. And I'll get to that. I'm the face of boxing. You've been calling me out for 2 years. You've been talking trash since you was a youngin', 21, 22 years old. You ain't even fighting nobody. You weren't even doing pay-per-view numbers. This is your first big pay-per-view. And you think you can come in the ring with me and I'm just gonna let you off the hook like that? No. I'm gonna show you a little something. I'm not gonna give you all the power just yet. I'm gonna outbox you, outclass you. That's what he did rounds 3 through to all the way to 7. Outclassed him, outboxed him. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And Ryan, let me tell you something. This is so funny with boxing. Hilarious with boxing. Got the knockdown in round 2, right? You might as well just chop up rounds 3, 4, and 5 up to like. This is the thing is that when you get knocked down, yes, of course you're gonna want to get that knockdown back. But after that knockdown, as a boxer, in my opinion, you have to play it safe. You have to try and win on points. You have to try and outpoint them in those next few rounds, because if you come out aggressive trying to get that knockdown, he's going to send you to the shadow realm. You haven't computed information on how he knocked you down, and you haven't understood the fact of why my shots aren't getting in like his shots are getting in. Right? That's what boxing's all about, right? It's a test match. Rounds 3, 4, 5. Oh, you might as well just even before the even rounds 3 start. The next 3 rounds is tense, because Ryan's gonna have his hands up. He's not gonna be throwing like that. He knows that he can't exchange with him because he just got hurt. He just got knocked down on an exchange. So right now he's gonna try and outclass. He's gonna try and outbox him by doing points, which he should have did from the beginning. I'm gonna tell you how Ryan Garcia should have won this fight. And this is why I got guys like Shakur Stevenson who are smarter fighters, who are like Devin Haney, smarter fighters, faster fighters, Lomachenko, smarter fighters, faster fighters, guys that have more experience that aren't going to play this game with Tank. Nobody's going to play this knockout game with Tank. Nobody's going to play this power game with Tank because he's the best in the game to do it. He's the best in the game right now with the power. He's the best in the game right now to knock you out. When you try to fight his fight, it's gonna be bad for you. You're gonna lose the fight. And when I say Ryan Garcia, 3, 4, and 5, You might as well just chopped it up to Tank. That's right. Round 6 came out. He came out a little bit more aggressive. Okay, he's like, damn, I probably lost 2 of those rounds. I really got to get a knockdown. I got to get something. So he starts exchanging a little bit more. You start seeing the body open up more now because he's got to get the hands up. He ain't got these hands down no more. He's not teeing off no more. He's exchanging, but he's got the hands up. Body. 7th round came. Exchange. He's got the hands up. Exchange. It took, the shot that put Ryan down, nobody saw. It's kind of like the shot that Ryan throws with the left, where you don't see it. It's like that ghost shot that he throws, like a Bruce Lee 2-inch punch that he throws, that he knocked guys down or knocked guys out before with. It's kind of like that punch where he hit him in this rib. It wasn't really, I'm going to go to the right side. It wasn't really a liver shot, because the liver shot is more to the side, directly lower abdomen to the side. It was more up in the chest rib area. It's kind of it's kind of comparison to, like, if you're a football player and you just got a hard hit. And I used to play football. I played football for a long time, my whole life, and everything like that. And it's kind of like when you get a hard hit, a stinger, or you hit. I remember hitting somebody one time in an Oklahoma drill, right? And I promise you, both of us got the wind knocked out of us because we both hit each other so hard to the point where our ribs probably, you know what I'm saying? And we got the wind knocked out of us, right? We got the wind knocked out of us. He hit him with a shot in the rib area, in the upper rib area, in that rib area. Because I know the announcer was like, he made his liver quiver. That wasn't a liver shot. He hit him in that rib area. That's why Ryan said he couldn't breathe. He hit him in that rib area so hard with a punch. It wasn't even, he didn't even wind up to hit him. He just hit him good enough. You ain't got to hit a guy. You don't have to hit a guy that flush or even that hard for him to feel that shit. I'm going to repeat myself because I don't care. You don't have to hit a guy that hard or that flush for him to feel that shit. He hit him hard enough for him to feel that shit. And he went down and he could not breathe. I saw it. That's why he smiled at him. You got me. I ain't going to be able to get up after this. I ain't going to be able to get up after this one. I get up, I might be in the hospital. At that point, Ryan said, I'm 24. I got to make a business decision. Maybe we'll fight this fight 4 years down the road when I'll have a little bit more experience. Maybe if I fought Josh Taylor, maybe if I fought Teofimo Lopez, maybe if I fought Shakur Stevenson, maybe if I fought Devin Haney, maybe if I fought Lomachenko, which all those guys are slated to fight soon. So here we go. Tank won, catch weight, over with. Little boy, this fight was built up. Everybody built it up. I already knew this was going to happen. Tank was going to win by KO. I should have put the money. I should have put the bag. I should have put the bag on the 7th round. I knew it was going to be the 7th or 8th round. I should have put a bag on it. But I didn't. It's all good. I didn't. It's all good. Man, if you would have got him out the 2nd round, I know the odds were like plus 22 something. You put $100, you would have been living. You put $100, you would have been happy. That's all I got to say. You would have been happy that night. But let me say this. Good win for Tank Davis. Get that little mosquito off of you. Because there's bigger things for you, son. You're the WBA lightweight regular champion. Regular title holder for the WBA. I think Devin Haney has all the belts now. Because Devin Haney has all the belts because Teofimo decided he wanted to move up to 140. That's why Devin Haney got all the belts. Then Teofimo Lopez was the unified lightweight champion. WBO, IBF, WBA, all that stuff. Unified lightweight champion. He said, I'm done with this weight class. Hard to make weight. I'm moving up. 140. Even though there's fights to be made. I mean, he done beat Loma already. He outclassed Loma in his first fight, in that fight. Even though Loma wants a rematch, I believe. He believed, like, I think that Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez fight is definitely gonna happen. It should have happened after that George Kambosos fight. I think he definitely wants to fight Kambosos again. My thing is, there's a lot to fight. There's a lot for Tank Davis in the 140, in 135. There's a lot for Tank Davis in 145. And when I say that, I mean it. Like, you got Shakur Stevenson out there. You have Devin Haney out there. You have Vasily Lomachenko out there. You have Jermaine Ortiz out there. You have George Kambosos out there. If you want to move up, you got Teofimo Lopez out there. You have Josh Taylor out there. And those two guys are ready to fight. Sandor Martin, you got him out there. You got guys that are out there that you could fight. Those are junior welterweight, right? Jose Ramirez, Jack Cotero. You got guys out there that you can move up and fight. Tank. I mean, there's a whole bunch of fight. But when we talk about 135, he wants to be the best at 135 face of boxing. You got to clean out the division, right? You got to clean out the division at 135. Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson, Vasily Lomachenko, Devin Haney, George Kambosos. There's another. You can get the rematch with Isaac Cruz. There's a lot. Jermaine Ortiz, who fought Vasily Lomachenko, really good. I mean, he fought Vasily Lomachenko. Jermaine Ortiz fought Vasily Lomachenko so good. He fought Loma so good the first half of the fight that he was up. He was winning that fight, the first half of the fight. And Lomachenko's ring experience took over in the second half of the fight, especially in the championship rounds. He was getting to Jermaine Ortiz. That's why he won the fight by unanimous decision. Those last 4 or 5 rounds get you. Those are the championship rounds, last 4 rounds. He won every single one of them. Okay, especially if it's a close fight. Judges like, we got this, we got this. Those last 4 rounds will really swing them cards over into your favor. Lomachenko did that against Jermaine Ortiz. That's a tough fight for Tank, too. He's a big guy. There's killers here at 135, man. There's killers here at 135. I'm telling you. I mean, Tank there's a lot, man. There's a lot. Everybody wants to say he's the king at 135. There's a lot of fights there's a lot of fights here to be made for Tank Davis. I'm talking about a lot of money, too. And I know with different promotions and everything, I think Lomachenko and Haney are top ranked. It's going to be a little hard because Mayweather and Al Haymon, they ain't messing with top rank. This is why these fights aren't happening, man. Because the odds at different promotions, I hate this. This is why the UFC gets so much more respect, right? Even though Dana White don't really like to pay his fighters like that. I get it. But Dana White is the one and be all of promotions, right? UFC's their own promotion. There ain't no different promotions in the UFC. The best fight, the best. Dana White puts the best fights together that the fight fans want to see. And this is why the UFC is taking over boxing. All right? This is why the UFC is taking over boxing, because Dana White puts the best fights together no matter what. No matter what, he puts the best fights together, right? He puts the fights that the fans want to see. He puts the fights together that the fans want to see. When there's different promotion companies there in boxing, there's money, it's this, it's that, it's different clauses. It gets messy. Like Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford should have been fought already. Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather should have fought 4 years before they even fought. Promotional differences, blood tests, all this other crap. I mean, it's sickening. Boxing gets sickening sometimes. So we want to see these fights. We want to see Tank fight a George Kambosos, which he'll mop the floor with George Kambosos. I really don't want to see that fight. I don't care about that fight. I think that's just for like aesthetics. Okay, I beat George Kambosos. I knocked his ass out. I could probably knock you out, Teofimo. You had troubles with him. You know, that he's that like that, right? I don't think Tank wants Shakur Stevenson, though. I think he don't care about fighting Devin Haney. I think he'll fight Devin Haney in a heartbeat. I think but that's a hard fight for him. Ooh, that's a hard fight. Devin Haney's fast as hell. See, this is what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go back to the fight a little bit here, and I'm kind of over what I wanted to talk about over the time of how I wanted to spend on here. But anyways, this is what I wanted to talk about with Ryan Garcia. This is how he should have won the fight and how he could have won the fight against Tank. The problem is with a lot of guys, they start exchanging with Tank. That's the problem. Except Leo Santa Cruz, I'll tell you this right now. And Mario Barrios. Tank was losing those fights on points and stuff. And he realized, okay, I got to up the pressure and I got to seek out the exchanges. That's when you start seeing Tank getting more aggressive. Man, I'm telling you, man, he can do it all. He can play defense. He can sit back, play the cat and mouse game, or he can come at you and be the dog or the pit bull and come at you. He could be the lion and go for the kill. That's why Tank is so special. And that's why he's the face of boxing, really. Is he the best fighter in boxing? Hell no. But when we talk about new faces of boxing, I mean, Canelo Alvarez is, okay. I don't think Tank is the full face of boxing. He's one of the faces, though. When we talk about big money fights, we all want to see Tank. When we talk about big money fights, we all want to see Canelo, right? Canelo's still the face of boxing, right? When we talk about the heavyweight champ of the world, we talk about Deontay Wilder, and we talk about the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, the heavyweight champ of the world, face of boxing, right? But when we look at guys that are 140, 135 lightweights, those are guys that are normal guy sizes. Like my brother was saying this the other day. He's like, yesterday, he's like, man, hey, that's real. Like these dudes are like, like real guy sizes out here. So they can relate. Nobody's 6'7" or almost 7 foot, 250 like Tyson Fury or whatever. Nobody's 6'6" like Deontay Wilder. There's a lot of guys like that, but I'm just saying, like, that's not the average guy. You know what I'm saying? Average guys like what, 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", something like that. They looking at these fights like, oh damn, this is like me. This is like me if I fought somebody on the street type side. But anyways, Ryan Garcia, the way he should have won this fight. I'm gonna tell you this. This is how he should have won this fight. Watched a lot of boxing. I've been watching boxing since I was a kid. Since I was a kid, right? This is how Ryan Garcia should have won this fight. You don't get into a knockout war with a guy like Tank. You don't get into that with a guy like Tank. I honestly believe that Ryan Garcia is the faster fighter than Tank. He's the longer fighter. Like, you see my hands? Longer fighter. This is Tank's hands. This is Tank's reach, and this is Ryan's reach now. Now, if I have more reach than you, I have more speed than you, what am I doing? What is the smartest thing to do? His camp should be fired. Yes, everybody's right. And everybody drop the comments in the comment section if you guys agree with me. His camp should be fired. The approach to this fight was horrible. If I'm in his camp, I'm like, hey, look, Ryan, this is what we're going to do. Okay. I know you want to say that you want to knock him out. I know you want to knock him out with the left hook, right? You're very predictable with that. But what we're going to work on is we're going to work on our outside. We're gonna win this fight on the outside. We're not gonna get in exchanges with Tank. We're going to work our jab, our lightning fast jab. We're sneaking a couple body punches here and there. We're not gonna get too overzealous. We're not gonna get too aggressive with him. And we're gonna get out this round clean. Every round is gonna be the round one. Every round is gonna be round one. I need you to outbox him, outclass him, not get into a slug war. I need you to outbox him, try to outclass him. Use your speed, use your length, use your athleticism, use your footwork. None of that happened yesterday. None of that happened yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of fact, as soon as that knockdown happened for Tank, he was the guy that was outboxing him. He was the guy that was outclassing him. He was the guy that was using his speed and his jab. He was the guy that was getting in the body shots. He was the guy that was getting in the left hand. Not Ryan. Tank. The guy that in the last 3 or 4 fights was losing the first half of the fights because he was getting outboxed and had to come out and outslug a guy. No, this is a different fight. Tank outboxed him, outclassed him, used his experience. And Ryan, take this as a learning. Take this as a learning experience, Ryan Garcia, for the next time you fight Tank, because they will fight again. See, Tank's only 28, Ryan's 24. These two will fight again in like 4 or 5 years. Trust it. These guys will fight again in 4 or 5 years. Now, I can see Tank moving up to welterweight. At some point, he's gonna go like that. That body, that body of Tank's, he's only what, 28 right now? By 30, Tank will be in a welterweight division. He would already beat the junior welterweights, I think. I think he move up to 140. He'll be at 147 soon. I know it's a hell of a jump. That's 12 pounds, but he's got the pop, he's got the power, he's got the speed to fight those killers at welterweight. I mean, can you imagine? Now, I would think in 2, 3, 4 years, we're not going to see him fighting no Bud Crawford. And I know I'm kind of jumping the gun here by moving him up 2 weight classes already. I know I am, but I mean, can I see him beating the hell out of Ugas? Hell yeah. Can I see him beating the hell out of Keith Thurman? Hell yeah. Keith Thurman just beat Mario Barrios by unanimous decision. Keith Thurman's only lost his to Manny Pacquiao. But can I see Tank Davis moving up to fight a Keith Thurman? Yeah. Can he beat a Keith Thurman? Absolutely. You want to know why? Because Keith Thurman's a slugger too. Keith Thurman wants to knock you out with power too. You can't get in these exchanges with a power puncher like Tank. It doesn't matter in those 2 division weight classes. Now, the only 2 guys that I look at 147 that Tank will definitely have issues with is Bud Crawford and Errol Spence. Everybody else, Jerron Enos is a tough one too for Aaron. I mean, that dude's tough. That dude's tough too. But when I talk about like Tank can move up, he can move through 140. I think Tank can beat a Teofimo Lopez. One thing I would say this though, Teofimo's a lot smarter than Ryan Garcia. He beat a guy like Lomachenko who got 300 something plus amateur fights under him. Lomachenko's using all this different type of technology for hand coordination and all of this stuff. Like Lomachenko is one of the best fighters, right? In 135, and he outclassed him, outboxed him. And we could, talk about the Kambosos fight. I think with Kambosos, he wasn't really supposed to fight that fight, health reasons wise, but also I think he underestimated George Kambosos' power a little bit and his speed a little bit there in that fight. That's what got the Teofimo. But if he could beat Taylor, Teofimo, Sandro Martin, some of those guys at 140, oh yeah, he could move up to 147 and beat a Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman just beat Mario, and he took care of Mario Barrios. I mean, you got to remember Mayweather started as a featherweight, lightweight, moved up to welterweight. He was the king of the welterweights. I think that's the highest that we'll see Tank go was like welterweight. Maybe he can go up to a superweight. If he goes to the super, I mean, come on, man. But let's talk about the fights that we can make at 135, right? Shakur Stevenson. I don't think he wants that fight. Out of all the names that I've named at 135, Shakur Stevenson, Vasily Lomachenko, Devin Haney, George Kambosos, Isaac Cruz. Out of all those guys, Jermaine Ortiz, right? Out of all those guys, I think he can beat a Jermaine Ortiz. I think he can outbox him, outclass him. I think he probably can knock him out. He could definitely knock out George Kambosos. George Kambosos is too hard-headed. George Kambosos will use his speed, but Tank. I think Tank just will outclass him and knock him out too. So Isaac Cruz was tough for him, ambidextrous in both hands, real tough, funky style. I think Tank can outbox him again, but that fight right there with Isaac Cruz scares me a little bit. It reminds me a little bit of Manny Pacquiao and Marquez, right? It's like close fight, like, got to him. Manny Pacquiao won the first one, first couple fights. Then the third fight, Marquez knocked him out, sent him to the shadow realm. Fourth fight, whatever the case was. Third, fourth fight. That fight scares me a little bit. That fight scares me a little bit for him. Other than that, the three main guys, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, Vasily Lomachenko, those three guys, those are tough fights for Tank. Those are real tough. And I think all those three guys are top ranked. Those three guys right there, that's tough. Those are tough fights for Tank. I'll start with Lomachenko. The speed, the in and out, the footwork, the chin, the ring experience. That's a tough fight for Tank. Lomachenko is not going to trying to knock you out. Oh, you want to talk about the knockout game? Okay, cool. That's great. That's awesome. I'm going to negate that by fighting you on the outside and fighting you smart. And I'm going to get all the points. I'm gonna beat you by points. That's the way Lomachenko looks at Tank. Same thing with Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson. Let's talk about Devin Haney. Fast, long, athletic, speed, power. Got an okay chin on him. I've only seen Devin Haney get rocked once. That's it. And that was against the Argentina fight. I can't remember his name right off the top of my head. I'll pull it up right now. But when I talk about Devin Haney, that's a fight that Tank probably is going to. I feel like he should want to fight both of those guys, win or lose. He should want to fight at least Devin Haney. I'm talking about Jorge Linares. Linares is a guy that hurt Devin Haney. Ever since I've never seen Devin Haney get hurt after that. I've never seen him get hurt at all, period. But when I look at 135, there's a lot of fights to be made, especially with those three guys. I don't think he wants nothing to do with Shakur Stevenson. If he doesn't want a loss on his record. I don't think he wants anything to do with Shakur Stevenson. That's just my opinion. I think he'll rather move up and wait before he fights Shakur Stevenson. That's just my honest opinion for Tank Davis. He would rather move up and wait and fight Teofimo. He'd probably rather move up and wait and fight Josh Taylor. He'd probably want to move up and wait and fight Martin. Those guys before he wants to fight Shakur Stevenson. Does that make any sense to y'all? Because let me tell you something. Shakur Stevenson, I'm not gonna play this knockout game with you. I don't knock people out. Shakur Stevenson, I don't knock people out. I don't want to knock people out. I want to just embarrass you. I'm gonna outclass you. I'm gonna outbox you. Shakur Stevenson has one of the fastest jabs I've ever seen in my life. Let me say this again. Shakur Stevenson has one of the fastest jabs I've ever seen in my life. One of those jabs that will frustrate Tank Davis. The speed, the defensive ability, the ability to fight outside. I'm not fighting you inside. What, you think I'm crazy? You think I want to fight you inside? You're going to have to fight me inside. And even if you do fight me inside, my defense is good enough to negate your offense. That's how good Shakur Stevenson is. He doesn't want that fight. His camp don't want that fight. His camp knows they don't want that fight. They don't want that fight. They really do not want that fight. He would rather move up. He'd rather fight Devin Haney and Lomachenko before he fights Shakur Stevenson. That's facts. That is facts. Any real fight fan knows why, too. That's facts. That's facts. So what's next right here for Tank Davis? I think Isaac Cruz rematch is probably in the works. Maybe, I don't know. This was a good fight. I mean, I kind of already knew this was gonna happen. I knew Tank knew kind of this was gonna happen. The young boy doesn't have too much power, too much experience, right? The young boy hasn't seen nothing like this. The moment's too big for him. Give him a give. I'll get to Ryan. Tank Davis right now. You want to fight the best fight possible, right? You want to be one. I think if Devin Haney beats Lomachenko, I think that fight makes sense. I think you guys need to come to the table and make that fight happen. Devin Haney and Tank Davis at 135. If not, the Isaac Cruz rematch is nice. I think George Kambosos will be a good fight, even though I think he'll beat George Kambosos. He's not fighting Shakur Stevenson. Y'all can get that out y'all head right now. He's not fighting Shakur Stevenson. He'll rather go up and wait than fight Shakur Stevenson. He'll rather fight somebody else than fight Shakur Stevenson. That's just my honest opinion, and that's just his camp. His camp is like, this is a business decision, right? If Mayweather fought all the best fighters, which he has fought all the best, if he fought all the best fighters in his prime, he probably would have had a blemish on his record too. If he would have fought Pacquiao in his prime, if he would have fought, I mean, he fought De La Hoya. He fought De La Hoya at the end of his career, and let me say this: De La Hoya in that fight versus Mayweather, if he would, De La Hoya was winning the first half of the fight, in my opinion. He stopped throwing the left hand. He stopped throwing the left jab. That's what hurt him. But also Mayweather negated the left jab. That's where you talk about computer information. That's where you talk about Mayweather's one of the greats. He negated the left jab. When I go look back at that fight, he negated the left jab from Oscar. He made it non-existent in the second half of the fight. The defense was just on another stratosphere. First half of the fight, Oscar was getting him with the left hand, with the length, with the power, with the left hand. Stopped throwing it in the second half because it kept getting counterpunched. So if Mayweather, like I said, if Mayweather fought guys that were always in their prime when he was in his prime or just coming up, he might have had a blemish on his record or a draw on his record too. But we got to know that this is a business. Boxing is a big business, right? Money, big money, right? Big money, big money. You know that you lose millions I mean, Canelo lost to Mayweather. This is why Ryan Garcia losing the Tank isn't so bad right now because he's so young. Canelo Alvarez, and I mean, look at Sugar Ray Leonard too. Had a loss at 24 too as well. I'll get to Sugar Ray Leonard, but a guy like Tank, he knows right now. Okay, I gotta fight fights that I know I can win. That I know that this guy's not gonna outclass me. You know what I'm saying? I know that this guy's not gonna outclass me. Right? Sugar Ray Leonard's first loss was to Roberto Duran, right? In 1980. Right? When he was 20 something, that was his first loss. So Ryan Garcia's got a lot. Ryan Garcia has some time to grow. He has some time to grow. And he lost that. Yeah, that fight was 76. That fight, he was 24 years old when he lost that fight. The fight was in 1980. He was born in 56. He's 24. They mentioned it too in the program. Ryan Garcia will be fine. Tank, he's got to fight the best fights possible. There's a lot of fights at 135 that he can fight, even at 140 that he can fight. And I just mentioned him. But I think that Shakur Stevenson fight, all y'all can just get that out y'all head right now. Y'all can just get that out your head right now. Tank's team don't want that fight. They don't want that fight. Mayweather doesn't want that fight. They don't want that fight. They know that that's a whole different breed of boxer. That's a different dude. That's a guy. He will expose Tank for what it is. Like I like the progression of Tank in this fight. Like I said, he became more of a boxer. He outclassed him and he outslugged him, and he was smarter than him in the fight. Right? He made you play into his game. Shakur Stevenson ain't doing that, man. I'm telling you right now, he's not doing that. Shakur Stevens is like, I'm gonna get in, get out. It's gonna be quick work, and we're gonna get the W on, and I'm about to go eat with my family and go eat a nice steak, and I'm gonna be unscathed. That's Shakur Stevenson. He's not gonna let Tank get in there like how he did on Ryan and everybody else. That's not happening. That's not happening. That's not happening, Captain. So I think there will be other fights to be made before that fight. I don't think they'll ever fight. They may never fight. Those two guys may never fight in their career. So the fight fans just talking about, Shakur Stevenson's going to knock him out, yada, yada, yada. Tank's team don't want that fight. They're not taking that fight. They're not taking that fight. It's a business decision. It just gets harder for Tank from here. He wants to. He says he's the face of boxing. You want to be like Canelo. You got to fight these top guys. I think what's next for Tank though, what should be next for Tank is the winner, Haney Lomachenko. I think, especially if Haney wins, because Haney's a unified lightweight champion. I think if Haney wins, I think that should be a fight to be made right there. If Lomachenko wins, that should be a fight to be made right there. Period. That should be a fight to be made right there. Lomachenko's already got one loss. And, hell of a win by Teofimo Lopez. I mean, he outclassed him, outboxed him. I don't know if Haney's going to be as successful as Teofimo. I think he has more attributes than Teofimo, so I think he should be. But we're going to see. I think that's the fight to be made right there is Loma Haney versus Tank. Whoever wins that versus Tank. Shakur Stevenson's not happening. Maybe a rematch with Isaac Cruz, a fight with George Kambosos, or a fight with Jermaine Ortiz, I think is the next fight for Tank Davis. And then moving on to Ryan Garcia, what's next for him? He's 24, just handled his first loss. This is a good learning experience for Ryan Garcia right here. He's a tall boy too. I think Ryan Garcia can move up in weight as well. I know he's a junior welterweight, but I think he could move up. He could move up to the likes of welterweight at 147 and kind of take a stab at it. He definitely can't move up to no junior middleweight. I mean, that's you got killers up there. Jermaine Charlo. I mean, you got killers up there. Liam Smith, Tony Harris. You got killers up there. You got killers up there. I mean, you're not ready for that. You're not. Maybe when you're later in your career, you pack on the weight, but you're 140, so you're a junior welterweight. I say for Ryan Garcia, a good fight for him would be a guy like Arnold Barbosa or a guy like Sandor Martin. That'd be a good fight for Ryan Garcia. Sabril Matias, that'll be a good fight for Ryan Garcia. Jose Ramirez, that'll be a good fight for Ryan Garcia, who just KO'd Richard Comey, right? We just progressed. That'll be a good fight for Ryan. I mean, those would be good fights for Ryan Garcia, right? Teofimo Lopez is fighting Josh Taylor. He's already jumping all the way up to fight a guy who's probably regarded as the best 140 pounder in the division, right? Teofimo's that's the cachet he got, right? I got cachet. I can beat this guy. I'm moving up to fight Josh Taylor. I can beat Josh Taylor. Ryan Garcia, now that you fought Tank, you have to start fighting tougher opponents. I think you get a gimme your next fight. Get one in the books, right? I'd fight a guy like maybe a Isaac Cruz, maybe even if that fight, if Tank's not gonna take the rematch, then I'd fight a guy like a Isaac Cruz, maybe, or and that's at 135. That's a catchweight. So I think you gotta stay in your division 140. I think you fight a guy like Sandor Martin, who's an experienced guy, 40-3, guy like that, Jose Ramirez, guy like that. Fight those guys. Then maybe you can be like, okay, I can fight Regis Progress, or um I can fight a Josh Taylor, maybe. I think that'd be a good fight too. Or I can move up and I can fight a Teofimo after whoever wins that fight. But all I know is after this fight for Ryan Garcia, he'll be okay. This will be a good learning experience. You don't want to get into a slugfest with a slugger, right? You have to be able to box smart. You got to go in there. It's not. This is why Mayweather is 50-0 or whatever, because he's smart, right? Making business decisions. I ain't gonna go in there and slugfest with Oscar De La. I'm not gonna go in there and slugfest with Canelo Alvarez. I'm not gonna go in there and slugfest with Miguel Cotto. I'm not gonna go in there and slugfest with Manny Pacquiao. I'm gonna beat them off points. I'm gonna beat them with my defense. I'm gonna get up and get up out of there. That's what Ryan Garcia has to understand and learn. That's that Mexican style in him, though. I want to go out there. I want to knock you out. I want to slug you. He's too predictable, though. You have to set up that left hook a lot better than you do, or you did. And you have to be a little bit more unpredictable when it comes to your approach on the offensive end. I'm a wrestler, right? And so I'm a wrestler, but I love combat sports, UFC, boxing, been a boxing fan forever. And one guy in wrestling, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, one of the greatest coaches of all time, probably the greatest pioneers of the sport, Dan Gable. Iowa Wrestling. Shout out to Iowa State Wrestling. Dan Gable said this: the best defense is offense. Dan Gable for wrestling. One of the best wrestlers of all time, arguably one of the greatest, most dominant wrestlers, him, Cael Sanderson. Like, we could talk days and days and days, right? The best defense is offense. And that's true. The best defense is offense. The best defense is offense. If you know that you can frustrate a fighter with your speed and your length, and you can still be defensive, but you're still on the offensive end, you're 9 out of 10, you can win that fight. And that's what Ryan Garcia has to realize. You got to go back to the drawing board. He can't be predictable. Everybody knows you're coming with the left hook. They're ducking. Tank ducked it 3 times before he knocked you down in the second round. Everybody knows you're predictable with the left hook. You have to switch it up, young man. You have to be more unpredictable when it comes to fighting, when it comes to your next opponents. Here, I just labeled out who you should be fighting, who he should be fighting. I think Ryan Garcia is going to have a hell of a career. He's only 24 years old. He's young. He already took on this big fight. I think Ryan Garcia could become one of the faces of boxing. And I think we can revisit this fight in about 4 or 5 years. When Tank is 32, 33 years old and Ryan's 28, 29, and he's got some more fights under his belt, and he's got guys that he's fought already, this fight will be made again. This fight will be made again in 4 or 5 years. But right now, Ryan Garcia has to build his resume. Ryan Garcia's got to get in there with some more killers. Ryan's got to get in there with guys that are better than him, that he needs to prove that he can beat, right? Ryan has to get in with those guys. They got to stop throwing these cupcake guys at Ryan. Stop throwing these cupcake guys at Ryan. Stop it. Get him some real competition to prepare him for his career. Because I think in the next 4 or 5 years, this can either make you or break you, right? This one loss can either make you lose confidence or it can make you gain confidence, right? I know he's mentored a little bit by Canelo Alvarez as well. Canelo's first loss was to Mayweather, and that's all she wrote. We already know that Canelo became one of he's become one of the pound for pound greatest fighters of all time, right? Even though he lost to Mayweather, even though he drawed with Triple G, even though he lost to Bevo just recently, which I think he'll get the rematch, and I think he can win that fight. I think Canelo can be, I mean, Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is a Hall of Fame fighter, one of the best pound for pound fighters of all time. He took L's, right? He lost to Mayweather. He lost to Marquez, right? He took L's. So my thing is that um don't let the loss hinder you or make you take a step back. Make it make you better, right? In defeat, you can always come out a better man. Learning experience. This is an experience fight, right? You got experience. First big pay-per-view fight. Going against a killer like Tank Davis. It takes a lot of balls to call out a guy for the last 2 years in with the pedigree of Tank Davis and to stand toe-to-toe from him. I got a lot of respect for Ryan Garcia. We got to give a lot of respect because not a lot of you guys behind these keyboards, y'all wouldn't stand 30 seconds with Tank Davis. For a young kid to be calling him out to get a fight, I even respect Rolly for doing it because nobody wants to fight this dude, really. The only guys that really would want to fight him are the guys I mentioned, Haney, Loma, like that really believe that they can beat Tank. Haney, Loma, Shakur Stevenson, a guy like Teofimo really thinks he can beat Tank. Like those 3-4 guys. Like those are guys like they'll call, like they're not even calling Tank out, really. But I mean, Shakur Stevenson's already said, like, he ain't on my level. I'm not even gonna call him out because they're not even gonna take the fight anyways. I'm just gonna let my promotion do with it what it does. Haney called Tank out, I think yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. So that might be the next fight because they've been talking a lot about that. That's a guy that thinks he could really beat Tank. That's a guy that a lot of fight fans are like, yeah, I think he can beat Tank too with his experience, with his speed, with his length from the outside. He's not going to get into a slugfest with Tank. He's going to get in, get out, just like you do at the corner store. Get in, get out, baby. We not trying to hang out here no more. We not trying to hang out here for 5 minutes. We trying to get in, get out. We got to get mama her stuff. Okay. That's where I think the fights make sense. Please let me know what you guys want. Please let me know down there in the comment section who you want Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia to fight next and what's next for them, ladies and gentlemen. But man, it's been a hell of a show. Go ahead, please like, share, and subscribe to Prime Sports World here at YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And in case you missed this live episode feed, we are on all podcast streams where podcasts can be heard. That's Apple Podcasts, Samsung Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and Spotify, ladies and gentlemen. So you don't want to miss that hot content here at Prime Sports World because we dropping the pen and bringing the heat, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, 24/7. But it's been a ball, guys. Like I said, let me know down there in the comment section who you think these two guys should be fighting and what's next for these guys coming up in the future. But it's been a wrap, guys. We'll see you next time here at Prime Sports World. Keep it locked in here, guys. And in case I miss you, like I always say, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, ladies and gentlemen. Sayonara, suckers.